Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of Training Around. I am your host, Train Scale and Scale Ed. I am working on the layout today, and I'm not very good at making videos, but I'm going to try my best here. If you've seen a couple of my earlier videos, you know I've got the track work down. You know I've got some test running going, discovering some problems. At this point, though, I am putting in a little bit of scenery, and just some styrofoam scenery. This layout is designed to eventually have two levels, eventually. It doesn't at the moment, but eventually it will, and adding a little bit of scenery detail, just to get things ready for the holidays, so I can have an operating session with some friends and family. Obviously, the layout is a complete and total disaster at this point because I've been working on this, moving the temporary structures down and putting in some scenery. So, what I'm working on right now is completing the temporary mountains in the background. I'd say temporary. I'm not going to replace them, but they're probably going to get shifted around a little bit as I'm settling in on exactly where everything's going to go. And the second level is not going to be a full level. I'm not going to build a shelf. I thought about that, and I just wasn't too comfortable with it. Maybe one day I'll change it around. I don't know, but at the moment, it's primarily single level, most of the operations, and then the second level, which comes out from the staging area. Goes through that giant hole right there, which I'm going to be using a lot of sedum and other fake-looking trees to kind of make it look like that's an outcropping, basically, and the train is coming from between two mountains. And you'll see when that's done. But I'm going to be using the Wooden Silex risers. It's going to be, I think at this point in time, it's going to be 6 inches high from the actual first level. And that way it'll be a little bit of a scenic break between the first and second. And I'm only planning on having 2, possibly 3 industries on the second level, 2 coal mines, and then maybe, if I can figure out a way to get in there without taking too much ground away from the first level. Maybe I'll also incorporate the Dillinger Distillery. I absolutely have fallen in love with the Dillinger Distillery in the Ruffsdale area. Some of you may have heard of it as the Ruffsdale Distillery, but it's an absolutely gorgeous structure that unfortunately has fallen into disrepair. And many people know about the history of whiskey in Western Pennsylvania, and just how much of an important part it was to early America, and then also to the continuing production of whiskey and other ilk. In any event, I am working today on these mountains, and I just put this together real quickly. These different pieces are going to be end caps. So I mentioned I'm using the Woodland Scenics foam. This is going to go right here. Yeah. The Woodland Scenics is going to go back around over here to raise it up. I'm going to use a combination of Sculptamold and some other products to kind of blend it in. And the goal here is I actually have about literally 3,000 toothpicks. And you say, what do you do with the toothpicks? Well, this is very two-dimensional. In fact, if I take the camera against the backdrop here, you can see just how thin. It is 2 pieces of styrofoam, 3/4 of an inch. The typical white bead styrofoam that you would find and use for insulation. And what I did was I took the styrofoam. I don't think I have any of it here to show. Oh, yes, I do have one piece. I can show you right here. I took the styrofoam. I'm not sure what's going to show up on camera. But I used my hot wire foam cutter. And I cut these ridges. And this allows it to be fairly flexible. No, except no. I just broke it on camera. Of course I did. The bigger pieces don't break as easily, okay? But it allows you, if you're careful, to go around corners and to bend it as necessary so that you can get these going. I mean, if you look, you can see this one's got some of those ridges in it. That one does too. And of course, these does too. You're not going to see them once I add the lichen. And to make it look like trees and give it some additional depth, which I think I've already got a little bit of decent depth, I'm going to be using these toothpicks. And I have spray painted them walnut brown. And by the way, remember, spray paint does not react well with foam. And I actually painted this foam first so that it would not dissolve as the spray paint was being applied to the toothpicks. And I only have 3,000, I can't talk today, toothpicks. And obviously these are not 3,000, this is somewhere around 200, roughly, I believe. And these are going to go like that, at an angle. And the lichen is going to go on it. Glued in place. And it's going to give the illusion of more depth. And when I get closer to the top, because the lichen will have already provided a little bit of a surface for material to not roll off from, I'll use smaller ground foam for there. But when I play the lichen, I'm going to shake on it, the leaves and whatnot, and hopefully from a 2.5 foot distance, it will give it decent depth. That's the goal. And I'm going to use slightly darker stuff in the back, a little bit lighter stuff in the front to try to give that illusion. And then I will add sparingly a little bit of autumn colored ground foam in pinches, because trees, when they turn in the fall, do not turn completely yellow or completely orange or red all at once. Usually you find that the topmost of the tree will have a sprinkling of brighter color, and that'll be green underneath that. And as the top layer falls away, or the outer layers fall away, the inner layers then start to turn. But it is green before it turns to an autumn color, and that's the goal. We're going to do a little trickery here to make this look like it has depth. I've also got some of the, I think it's called Cripple Creek. Wonderful, wonderful product. Cripple Creek rock molds. And these are flexible. It's some kind of polyurethane, foam, whatever. You know, the only problem with them is, as you can see, it's got little deep divots in. We're going to fill that up, I think, with Plastamold. And then we're going to stick it on the side as I'm cutting it. I already cut one section off already that I'll be using. And again, this is all about adding depth and making it look like there is deeper than it actually is, just as an illusion. So that's all for today. I will update you again more frequently. I'm bad at putting these videos up. I fully admit that. I hope you can see there's some progress here. And, oh yeah, what the heck. Did this just for fun. It's Halloween, right? So I got the Microsoft casket load for Halloween. Got this from, I believe, yeah, from Hog Strains. Thank you, Paul. Last year, didn't quite have enough time to paint it last year. And I didn't have anywhere near as much work done on the layout. And of course, it comes in gray, and I painted this. I actually used acrylic paint pens to do this. And to get some of the weathering on there, I just put the paint pen on my finger and literally rubbed it in. Literally, that was it. I got a little Frankenstein on the one side. Got a skeleton with red glowing eyes on the other side. Looks great. I love it. I'm excited to show it off for Halloween, and we only have two and a half more weeks left until Halloween this year. Just to kind of show you something. I'll post some pictures in the video, I promise. But if you look outside, you can see my Halloween decorations are up. We first bought this house nearly 10 years ago. One of the first things we did for Halloween was we made fake boarded up windows. And we put them up every year, and we get tremendous compliments on them. And put zombie hands coming through, and we put lights on them, and it's great. The kids love it. But that's all for turning around today. N-Scale Ed signing off.